Just listen to my story. Okay, so let's start by telling you that in 2012 December, I started my first job. I appeared for the interview, it went fine, I got the job, and I started, and I was only there for 1 year, and it sucked so bad. So bad. You're in that job where you feel you'll be happy and you will make more money, and your parents will be proud of you, and you will meet nice people, and then a lot of it is true, but the most important aspect is missing, and that is satisfaction. I started there. This is the company called Circo. I don't think it exists anymore. It finished. Not sure. And that's not the point. So, yes, I started there, and whatever was taught to me on the job, I could never put my heart into it. I would do it, little bit of it, I would try and learn, I would put down my notes, but I would never feel like opening that notebook again and reading through it again and finding out answers, because in the back of my mind there was always this feeling कि भाई तुझे ये नहीं करना है और सीख के क्या फायदा. That is something that used to linger on all the time. I'll say that in English. You're not going to be doing this 5 years from now, 3 years from now. What is the point of learning this? And that is what used to haunt me every day of my job. I was like, अरे यार मैं क्या कर रही हूँ मैं क्या कर रही हूँ मेरे को क्या मिलेगा SAP सीख के, मेरे को क्या मिलेगा BPC. I don't even remember all these technical software that were there. We had to learn how to operate and navigate through them. It was so technical, and trust me, I could have learned it. It's no biggie, no biggie. I was a chartered accountant. If I could have studied something as hard as that, this was nothing. I could have done it. I could not do it. I could not. It was difficult because I just did not feel like doing it. Gradually, people around me started to realize it, and now I'll tell you exactly what went wrong. I did not have the courage to quit my job because I didn't have the money. I mean, how would I quit my job without having savings? I was in no position to ask my father for money because, we are middle class people, and we don't have a lot of money. And once you've started to make money and you started to earn, it's very difficult to ask your parents for money after that, because you should be on the giving end and not receiving end. That was my feeling. I should be helping my papa. I should be helping my mama. How can I ask them money? So then I was not in the position to quit my job because it was just too brave to do that. And I did not have that kind of courage in me. Now what happened was that I created scenarios that would result into me getting fired. Now that is something I truly know, because the way I was behaving in my office, nobody would have let me continue. I would never show up on time. I would leave my seat every now and then. I would not finish my assignments. I would not sit through the training sessions. I would not make friends with anybody. No buttering. You call it buttering, na? Makhan marna. No makhan marna. Nothing. No sycophancy. So sycophancy is makhan marna. No sycophancy, no friends in the office. I mean, I was pinching in their eyes. It was like that sand grain that sits inside your eye, and you're like rubbing. You want to get it out. I was that person to those people, I feel. They threw me out. Grateful. Grateful they did. There's one more job I was fired from, which was the last corporate job. This is by the name Fresenius Kabi. It's again in Gurgaon. And I worked there only for 6 months. And that was the thing. I would always sit through these amazing interviews, present the best side of myself, and convince everybody that I'm brilliant for the job. And the day the job would start, I would start sucking at it. I would start showing my miserable side. And after Fresenius, when my boss told me, Alina, I don't think you want to do this. You should think about what you want to do. I remember I decided, or you may say that I had no other option left. I just, in a way, decided that I'm not going to sit through another interview. Whatever I'm doing, I'm going to do informal jobs and have time for myself where I can work and ideate on my own. Like I wanted to work on my own ideas. The only thing that I really did well, and the best thing that I did after Fresenius, was not taking up another interview, because I know I would have cleared interview had I sat through one. But that was one thing that was the biggest motivation factor for me, that I should never have to go to another interview. Make sure that that never happens again. Start something of your own. After that started my real struggle. And for 4 years, I had no money. And the only thing that I had was my house. I was staying in Delhi, and it was my own house, a very small apartment, but that was bought by my father, my mother together. So I was living in that apartment all alone, and every day, every single day, I would step outside my house, and there were these jhadiyan, those plants, the weeds that grow. I would sit there close to those jhadiyan on the staircase, 2 or 3 steps, and I would just write my ideas. Write, scribble, scribble, scribble. What do I want to do with my life? What do I want to do with my life? And I did not know what I wanted to do with my life. So finally, one day, my then boyfriend, my now husband, my Sahil, he told me when we were having coffee. So this was a ritual. Every day he would pick me and we would go for a cup of coffee and we would discuss ideas, because both of us are filled with ideas. We have a lot of ideas in our heads, and we would discuss those ideas. We were more like intellectual buddies, more than a couple. He knew that I wanted to do something of my life and make something of it. So he would keep giving me ideas कि अलीना, ये talent है तुम्हारा, वो talent है, why don't you sell paintings? I actually sold paintings, and I made some paintings. I sold around 12 or 13 paintings of mine for around 22,000 rupees. Not clearly remember, but around that figure. So that was a big earning for me around then, because I was not making any money. Then I joined a few coaching institutes. There were 2 coaching institutes I was going to, and I was teaching there, because I wanted to make some money for my day-to-day expenses, phone recharge, and no, it's a postpaid. This one is a postpaid. So yeah, my bill, my electricity, my water, my food, yeah, all of that. So I had to make around 8 to 10,000 rupees a month, and because of which I started to teach. Now I'm a brilliant teacher. I don't need to be told that. I know that about myself. And my students really loved me, but mostly the younger ones. I'm not sure about the senior ones, because उनका तो दिमाग ही हवा में होता है. पता नहीं क्या समझते हैं अपने आप को 12वीं के बच्चे. But खैर. So yeah, I started teaching, and I was teaching class 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, graduation 1st, 2nd, 3rd year, CA final year, God knows what all I was teaching. For a year, I was also enrolled with an academy for their CA final classes. It went fine, but it wasn't picking up and they were not generating revenue, so that also finished. 1 year contract I had signed and it finished, so they did not renew it. And apart from that, I joined a company called Merit Nation that was online teaching, and I worked with them for around 2 years or so. And they would pay me 8 to 10, 12,000 rupees a month for it was hourly payment. I had registered myself for those classes, and I kept doing that. And then coaching institutes also was going on. I was working there on hourly basis. I would go there for 2-hour classes and come back. Then every day those classes would happen, and then a collective sum was given to me after the end of the month. That was going on. And I remember one of those coaching institutes, they also told me, ma'am, अब आने की ज़रूरत नहीं है आपको. मैंने कहा ठीक है यार, वैसे भी क्या ही मिल रहा है मुझे, तो मैंने कहा ठीक है चलो, ओके हो जाएगा. So yeah, it ended. Coaching Center 1 ended. Coaching Center 2, I finished working with them because COVID happened, and then we were all home and the classes were happening online. And they were paying me so little, like literally for a month once they paid me only 2,500 rupees. 2,850, I remember this was the amount. You can't work for free for anyone. So it had to finish, and I ended it one day. And then in COVID, finally, so this is, I mean, before I get to that part, I want to tell you that this is how I got fired from two serious, like Circo was a serious job where I got fired from. And then coaching centers were my, like, coaching center one was my serious, not serious, but yeah, it gave me enough money to get by. So that is where I was fired from. Then Merit Nation also called off their entire arrangement. And it was not just for me, it was for everybody, because their wing was shutting down or something was happening. I don't remember. It was taken over by Akash. So Merit Nation was getting over, and because of which my job got over from there. Now, coming to the part, if I enjoy this process, if I like talking about it, I certainly do. I enjoy talking about it a lot because it made me take some very brave decisions with my life, which I would not have taken otherwise. When you don't have money and you have expenses and you have responsibilities and you have a lot of dreams, I mean, more than anything, your dreams, you do something. You are stuck with, you're stuck in your scenario, and you need to find a way out. And that's how I started my YouTube channel, on being motivated by my husband, who is now my husband, but back then he was a friend. So he motivated me. I started my channel. So yes, I'm glad that it happened. If you're going through something like this, nothing remains the same throughout the life. It is going to change, but it will happen quickly, much quicker, if you start putting action into that direction rather than waiting. Okay, I mean, in my case, I wasn't really waiting, because even in my job, I was sitting and working on my ideas, what to do next, what to do next. I would try a couple of things and fail. But by failing many times, that's when you hit your bullseye and you reach where you want to reach. At least you don't, okay, if you don't reach, at least you start what you wanted to do. And today, I enjoy my work. I am, you may comfortably say, I'm a boss today. I'm a boss woman, but I'm not like a boss. I'm very sweet. So my people can tell you that. And this is my story. That's where the Storytelling Wednesday ends. Let me know in the comments if you're going through something like this, and if something is keeping you back, if you're struggling. If you're struggling, find this story as your motivation. Trust me, I don't come from a very wealthy family. And today, whatever I earn, my biggest happiness is that I'm being able to do something for my parents. That is my biggest happiness. That is my biggest source of motivation. And apart from that, I am able to travel. That is another very big motivation. And I'm able to live the way I wanted to be living. So that's all about it. Thank you. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let others also hear you. Let me read what you're writing. Maybe there was some place where you could connect with me. Let me know below. Okay? I'll see you again soon. थक गई बोलते बोलते. Bye bye.